Oh, really? Gonna do me like that? Apparently the button I have to unmute you doesn't work right now. I just have to do that manually. Boy, oh boy. That is... Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode and week of the Anime4All podcast. We are here, Alter and Spear, to talk to you about Rurouni Kenshin episode 7. And also...
Hello. You don't have to come to a full stop. I was just throwing a hello out into the universe there.
Yeah, that hello stopped me dead in my tracks.
Stop you dead in your tracks. I'm saying that's not necessary.
It already did. You can't stop it. Crap. I had a thought, and that thought left me. Like most of my life. Okay, enough self-deprecation. This episode, I guess we could talk about. Oh yeah, and I guess talk a little bit about Daima as we normally do, and as we have been doing these past few podcast episodes. So really quick with Kenshin. Actually, I wonder, can I get? No, I gotta go. I gotta go into my history for this. Also, gotta be careful because last couple of podcasts. Oh shoot! Dang it! Last couple of podcasts, I've noticed. Well, at least the last one we had. Immediately when I got put on YouTube, and it was in private. Immediately got banned. I'm in the process of removing the sound that they heard that it got matched. What a landscape that we live in. Can't even just talk about anime without you getting recognized by the YouTube algorithm. For this episode, Cho the Tin Sword, huh?
Don't forget, everything else fails. We still have that guy from Brazil.
I don't even know the guy from Brazil who does it on YouTube. I had this funny suspicion that he doesn't.
Listen, I need him. I need him, and like I'm counting on him to be out there.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not out there. I just have a suspicion that maybe when we moved platforms, maybe he didn't follow. I don't know. There's no real way to notify people when platform changes happen. I completely forgot what we were using last, and I haven't logged into that thing well, no. I redirected the link that leads from. But it should lead to the YouTube podcast. I guess we just hope and pray that somebody from South America is listening in.
Brazil specifically.
Yes, for Brazil specifically for Jock here. Pretty much the episode. I feel like, yeah, this is me so just being funny. I actually, when this episode started and I saw this, I almost for a second like, what happened? Did I miss something? Like, did I miss something last episode? Like, why are we here? Why is Misao doing what I presume is a Japanese trope? I feel like this performance, I guess, is the best way to put it. But she's just like recapping what happened last episode with Seiku and him not wanting to forge another sword or give the sword he had on him over to Kenshin. And Misao is very, very adamant that Kenshin should have tried a little bit harder to get the sword off of him. But Kenshin said he didn't want to.
He makes a good point about it, though, that if we forced him to do it, the sword wouldn't have any spirit to it.
Yeah, I know it's a common theme with swordsmen, specifically with their swords. Like they have like a bond with their blade, and also a bond with the swordsmith that made it. Kind of like in Demon Slayer, where the swordsmith that forged the swords there. At least the main character, Tanjiro, his particular swordsmith is very not abusive, but though he is kind of abusive, but what's the word I'm looking for? He's very um he's very emotional about his like work. And every time Tanjiro keeps on using a sword that he made and breaks it, he gets really upset by it. But later on, you find out the main reason he gets really upset by it is because he feels like he hasn't forged a sword good enough that can handle Tanjiro's sword swing. So he resolves that near the end of the last season, I believe. Still waiting on that anime movie. You hear me, Japan? I'm still waiting on it. I know the anime just ended this year, but I'm still waiting on it. What?
We don't have viewers from Japan, just Brazil.
You don't know we don't have any viewers from Japan. You don't know that. I can dream. I don't know if they can understand me. If anybody is from Japan, hi. Konnichiwa. I think I just scared the one person that might have been from Japan away from here. But
100%.
if I knew how to say Brazil and say, geez, I almost said hi in Brazil. No, that's not what I meant. If I knew how to, I think it's Portuguese. If I knew how to say hi in Portuguese, I would so do it to scare away that one Brazil. Because I think they speak. No, it must be Brazilian. Is that a language? Or is that a? I'm gonna get into that.
I believe Brazilian is a language. Portuguese.
I had it right then. Okay, if I knew how to spell, if I knew how to. I mean, Portuguese is just another way of Spanish, I believe. It's just more. It's like I forget what it is. I know Portuguese has a distinct. What are you about to say?
It is. I said that's racist.
No, that's what I knew you were gonna say.
Say that there's no difference between Portuguese and Spanish.
No, I said there's a tiny bit of a difference in Portuguese and Spanish because I think Portuguese is a type of, like, I don't want to say it's Spanish, but it's like I think they share some similarities. At least from what I overheard from some people talk about who spoke Portuguese.
Racist.
Moving on, back to I guess the whole idea that the sword wouldn't have any spirit. I think it's kind of interesting. While Kenshin is still holding on to his broken Sakamoto, and Misa's still concerned about like how Kenshin's gonna fight anybody with that broken sword. As we see later on, he it looks like he can still fight with that broken sword, just not as effectively.
Well, he didn't even take it out of the sheath.
I mean, what would be the point of taking it out of the sheath? It's like lost the range that it had. At least with the sheath, it still has the range he had. Kenshin's like remember at this point. Kenshin starts remembering the little kid that was who can barely speak a little bit of. I guess in this instance would be Japanese, but like she talking about shake hands, shake like it's like shake has. I still want to say Shrek, but that's not. We're not doing that. That's not what I'm about. That's tonight. Did it? See, that's the intro. Oh shoot! I just passed Discount Giovanni. And then we go back to Shishio and like where we let him off last time in his hideout with his minions. Who all have poles. I just noticed that. His Discount and Giovanni. Well, I think he's got eye makeup on? I don't really know. I think that's eye makeup. I had no idea. It's probably not. But I feel like it might be. Because no other character looks like him.
Give me a time signature. Give me a time signature.
4:13.
Oh, I see. What else could it be? It's got to be eye makeup.
Maybe the natural color is the back of his eyelids. I have no idea.
I don't know.
But
He's
he's,
a weird character.
yeah, dude. I think that's the whole point. But she just come back and he meets him, and then like they start walking, I guess, to the back of to the room, and the guy ends up asking about like where the kid was, and Shisho makes mention that he told him to go gather the 10 swords, and tells him that apparently it's going to be a while. Been a while to gather. He also makes mention that apparently some of the 10 swords are from the west. I thought that was interesting. I don't remember that being a detail about them. Like they even like it takes a lot of like they even make mention of the guy that Sonosuke left about like how difficult it is to find them. Like imagine that guy though, that monk dude. Like I mean he's in the middle of the woods, shaking the earth. Guess the flower is for Shisho's girlfriend. Wilson like tells him like she's gonna go and take a bath and get dressed and she'll wait for him in the bed. I was like, well, if anything, she's hot, so.
You're turned on by the cartoon character.
No, it's not that. It's just that it's one of the, if anything else, if she's not anything else, she's attractive. So it's like, I mean, she's got that going for her. This is basically all I can say about her.
So you're saying that you find the cartoon character attractive?
It's not really a cartoon character. I get what you're getting at from all this, but I'm just saying like that. I'm still like still cartoon, but whatever. It's like, I characterize cartoons and anime differently, at least in my brain. We're not gonna get into that. I don't really have a legitimate reason for that. Just as how I separate things. I enjoy both mediums, but just like I feel like Japanese animation is a little bit different. But yes, she's attractive. But at least she's meant to be attractive. I don't know what you're trying to make fun of here, or put me into like a really weird situation.
I'm just making it clear.
So did we ever get this guy's name? I always call him Disco and Giovanni, but I don't remember getting. I thought didn't he say his name at some point?
I didn't write it down. If they did.
I feel like since he's got such a Hoji is his name. Okay. Like it's when you're talking about Hoji and whatnot, they talk about the 10 swords, how difficult it is to, for them to gather them, and Angie is another one that's really hard to find apparently. And the Sonosuke kind of just ran up on him. So he couldn't be that difficult to find. Shishio makes mention that he wants the 10 swords to go after Kenshin. Hoji apparently doesn't like that idea, and he thinks that they just be a sacrifice, or like he was like a meaningless sacrifice to getting killed by him. But Shishio doesn't think that they're that weak. Well, I mean, we'll see. Right now, based on what I'm using Cho as like at least the lowest power level of the 10 swords. Like so far, he seems to be the weakest, and Kenshin doesn't seem to be having much of a problem with him yet. But
yeah, I was surprised they made him as weak as they did.
they always gotta have somebody to like show the power levels of some characters. Why not this guy who only really seems to collect swords?
Although at the end of the episode, he seems like he's getting more serious about it.
Yeah, he could just been fooling around. He's still the type of character that would do that. I kind of want to bring up that this guy reminds me a little bit just in design of Vash, and apparently you agree with me with that one. I was kind of shocked that you did.
Why?
I was expecting you to fight back on that one. I don't know.
I get the idea.
He just kind of reminds me a little bit of him, just in design. Personality, everything else, that totally different, but I mean, Trigun.
Personality is
Hmm?
completely different.
Oh,
Personality is completely different. Weapon of choice is different. Um, but there's something a little bit there that feels inspired by the uh, the human tsunami or tornado or whatever they called him in there.
yeah, I was thinking about that as I was watching. Like, geez, this kind of reminds me a little bit, just of a little bit. Like, there's a piece of it. I mean, Trigun and this show were running at the same time, I believe, back in the day. But like he shows up because apparently he had already been here. Apparently he lives very close by. I think he said Osaka is where he was living, and he
Yeah.
and he pretty much he's like he was close by, so he's able to rush over and wanted to show Shisho his sword collection. Apparently, I was like, okay, that's interesting. This guy seems interesting enough. And then apparently this guy Hoji, apparently those men that we saw last episode that were tailing Kenshin and talking to each other, relaying information to Shisho, were Hoji's men, and then we found out that Hoji knows about where Kenshin has been. Who he's made contact with, and then I would say, lets it slip. He doesn't really let it slip. He just says that there's a sword there made by a famous swordsmith that Kenshin used a long time ago. Apparently, the guy is apparently really famous because Cho knows about him and decides to go off to collect the sword. Shishio Princess don't make a mess or anything like that. We all know Cho's gonna make a mess. As we already see later on in the episode, he makes a big hullabaloo. Uh, which I think is the next thing that we see. Oh no, like we have Shishio doing a maniacal laugh. Um, about how he wants to take down the Batosai in his like in an awakened state is basically what he called it. And he just laughs maniacally because he feels like he's gonna win. I'm actually very excited to see because, like, I mean, he is a Batosai himself. But he's got to be really strong. How strong we have to wait because I don't remember too much. It's something I am remembering, but I don't know if they're gonna do it in this anime or not. After that laugh, we cut away to the shop where Seiko was, and then Cho shows up, plays a little bit of Kodama. I think that's what the name of that Hammerball game is. Uh, and he pretty much is losing.
It looks so frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating. I never played it, but fun fact, and I don't know if this is another one of those. It might just be me making connections. Um, but there was this show called Mare, Mar. Back in the day, I remember man, this is what 2009. I want to say that I caught one of when I was going to school, and I watched it every day when I coming home from school. I never finished it because the dub never finished. I hate that, but there was the main character. I bring this up because the main character, I think his name's Kenta, but the main character has a weapon, in that show, and the weapon is a kodama, like a giant hammer and ball weapon. Uh, it's like very similar, and though the weapon can talk, it's like a living weapon. But like he uses this weapon throughout the entirety of the show. It just I was just reminded of that hammer ball weapon when I saw that kodama, and obviously it was inspired by the Child's Kid game apparently here. I can't imagine playing that because it definitely looks difficult. It looks like a hole on one. Reconnection successful. Green bars again. Are we back? Are we live
Looks
again?
like it.
Did we not commit
Looks
seppuku? Huh?
It looks like it.
Okay. It's waiting for XLG to get caught up, apparently. I don't know why. I experience really weird internet at night now, and I don't know what's causing it. Oh yeah, they have Canada Day in October. I always forget that in Canada they have Thanksgiving earlier. Well, it's not Canada Day, but you know, it's their Thanksgiving in October. Oh wait, it's because of the harvest? Oh, okay. You still there?
No. Are you?
Fair shot. Fair shot. Darn you. That was actually a fair answer. Darn you. Okay, I should forget all about Canada. Was that real, or did you forget XG was Canadian?
I forgot XLG was Canadian, but like I forgot all about the fact that they might be from Canada. You seem to know a lot of Canadians in general.
Yeah, well, I know one less Canadian nowadays.
Is it the one that makes alias?
Huh? What?
The Canadian that made you change your alias?
I mean, he wasn't. The changing of the alias wasn't all due to him. He, in part, make things easier. Though, I mean, it doesn't really seem like too much. I mean, he doesn't. I haven't seen him pop up. Apparently, what I'm understanding, he pops up more in Elizabeth streams. And usually when he pops up over there, I get a notification when he does. And it's not something.
I thought he was essentially gone. I thought he was essentially gone now. He still shows up in Elizabeth's stream?
From what I understand, every now and then he'll show up there. I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to do, but he'll usually pop up there. From my understanding. And every now and then I peek at his streams. I haven't looked at any of his streams recently. I know he was still streaming. As far as I knew, he was still streaming. But as for him disappearing altogether off the internet, I don't think he ever would do that. He's made threats in the past about doing that, you know, disconnecting from the internet, but he never does.
Doesn't he do it for like a little while and then he shows up again?
He does a lot of things that he only does for a little while, then he comes back. Last thing I heard that he was doing was going to college again. I don't know where that went, because his status has changed. Which, by the way, I keep checking this just to make sure. I'm still his friend on Discord. I don't know whether he doesn't know this or doesn't care, because he removed me from Steam. So it seems kind of strange that like I'm still there, even though he removed me from Steam. Like so, I find that strange. He was trying to remove him. He was trying to remove all connection with me. He didn't do it on Discord. He did it for somebody else. That kind of started this avalanche. So it's like it just seems kind of strange that I can still see and I always see that he's always talking about removing Discord because he doesn't like Discord or whatever, or he doesn't like. There's like a lot of things. He does a lot. He does a lot of complaining, which is unfortunate for some people in his close vicinity. You know, not to talk bad about him or anything like that, but it's just like I blame AZ's internet provider. Don't blame Verizon. It's not my fault. I think Verizon's probably the best we got up here. The heck is this? Windows security? Oh no, I just missed that. I'm not setting up OneDrive. Screw that. Okay, really quick so we can talk about Dragon Ball Diamond because I know he's itching to talk about a little bit of it.
You're
I
breezing through this Kenshin episode.
not much I can say. As you can, I have a lot of empty pauses. I'm trying to scan really quick because it's not like I didn't enjoy the episode. It's just I guess I don't have a lot to say other than what I already said. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
Um, the revelation that Cho is holding onto a sword that I gotta look this up because I'll probably look it up later. But I've only ever seen one other instance of a sword that looks like this, that's like made out of a bending metal. And again, it's in Demon Slayer. There's this female character in that show. So to set up the premise of like why she even has this sword, from the very beginning of the show that you didn't get past a couple episodes, they make mention that in the Demon Slayer core, to become like the top, I guess the top Demon Slayer, or a pillar, you had to kill like one of like the strongest demons. You had to behead them. Apparently, at least this is something that was stated in the lore. Even though also going to premise this too, I think the creator of this of Demon Slayer is female. So I find it's interesting that she decided to put this into the lore of the show. But essentially, apparently, women don't possess the strength that the men do to behead demons. Uh, so very rarely does a woman become a pillar, like a top, a Hashira is what they call, like a top pillar. But there are two female Hashira that exist in that show. Though one of them, she became a Hashira a different way. She didn't exactly behead them. She just designed her sword and her fighting techniques to poison and pick away at the demon to kill them. Uh, but she makes mention that there's only other one female character that's stronger than her, and she's capable of beheading a demon. We find out later on it's that girl that I mentioned earlier, the one who has the whip-like sword. Uh, Apparently, from what I can tell, at least from the show that when she got first introduced, her fighting technique. What happened? Am I still alive? What happened?
You seem to be.
I wonder why Crunchyroll's
The
acting like.
live action Dragon Ball movie, that's what you want me to talk about?
Please don't. For my sake, I don't want to. I don't want to think about evolution. I don't want to. And I think I'm gonna preface this. I'm actually gonna preface this because I know why he's asking. I know exactly why he's asking. He's made mentions on several occasions that he wants to drag me along
He's
to
asking
to
to point.
huh? What?
I'd like to point out that he's asked me specifically by name
Yeah, I
when I
no,
thought of it, and not you.
no. What I'm saying, I know why he's asking specifically you though, because he already knows that I don't like this movie. I think he's trying to
Right.
gauge why I don't like it, and he's trying to get it from somebody else because I made various complaints about I don't want to sit down and watch that movie again. I wasted my time once. Like, go ahead,
I
talk
don't
about
think
it.
the creator, I don't think the creator of the movie.
Hello?
I don't think the creator of the movie saw more than like 5 minutes of Dragon Ball. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know why Discord decided to cut your sound off as you were talking, but continue.
Can you?
I can hear you. Continue.
No. I started saying this like 5 times now.
Sorry.
I don't think that the creators of. Oh my God! Now I have to start and say it again.
I didn't say anything.
Jeremy, are you okay? Yes, you did. You went, and then you said sorry.
But did I get offline again?
Oh my God! All right,
No,
now
it's
I'm good.
talking to XLG. Sorry. Talking to XLG.
XLG says we're live.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we went off live for a quick second, but continue. I'm muting myself.
I don't think that the creators. Are you gonna mute yourself or not?
Hold up. My Steam Deck doesn't seem to work, apparently. I have to look at that later. Oh, Lord. Really? Oh.
He's muted. I don't think that the people that made the Dragon Ball movie saw more than like 10 or 15 minutes of the Dragon Ball anime because they didn't get anything right, especially Piccolo. Piccolo made me so angry. I haven't seen this movie, by the way, in like five or 10 years. But they the fact that the fact that Goku went to high school alone is like painfully obvious that like they had no idea what the anime was about because he's supposed to be kind of a hillbilly that lives out in the woods, and it completely flips it on its side. Um, I think they could have done much better with almost anybody there. Like it's kind of like the Mario movie. The Mario movie was like another disaster. Excuse me. But if you want to be completely honest, I don't remember a lot of the movie. I remember there was some main characters that were missing from the movie as well. Chi Chi was really dumb looking, but like, was it Krillin that doesn't exist in the movie? But they kept Yamcha or something like that? I think that's the case. They had Bulma, they had Chi Chi. Bulma, what did they do to Bulma too? They had Bulma like her hair was like normal and it wasn't colored or something. Jeremy, unmute yourself. Yes, I'm positive.
Ah, man. I thought my Steam
No,
Deck
you're.
was used. Hmm?
It's not too hard to derail the podcast. Don't worry, XLG.
I think I'm just gonna make mention of one last thing about Kenshin, then we can move on, and we can continue talking about Dragon Ball because we'll just slide into Daima from Evolution. But the episode's good. Episode pretty much ends with the revelation that he's holding on to one of the first swords that Seku's father made. Episode pretty much ends at that point. I suspect that things are gonna get crazy. I can't wait to watch this episode.
He's got the sword wrapped around his stomach. That one, is that the one you're talking about, or the?
Yeah, the sword wrapped around his stomach.
And they call it a murder weapon or something like that too, a murder sword,
He refers to it as a murder sword because
which I
this
thought
what he. Oh,
that's what he what.
no, I didn't want to stop your statement. I kept on doing that. That I'm trying to stop myself, but apparently there's a delay on my end. But continue.
No, I just said they called it a murder sword. The son calls it a murder sword, like the son of the sword maker calls it that too, which is really interesting. I thought. I also want to know why this thing is like wrapped around his body and like it can just do that. Is it going to be like flexible and like wobbly when he fights with it, or is it going to just suddenly become like solid and sharp, or what's it going to do?
I think I made mention before we got derailed that I've only seen this type of weapon in another anime. Um, but as for I suspect it's gonna be a flexible weapon. Only thing I can think is that maybe they took some liberties with this weapon. I have no idea. I'm not sure what that sword is referencing in real world because that swordsmith that they're talking about was a swordsmith that existed in real life. There was a swordsmith that made a lot of weapons for the armies and whatnot. He was really famous. Like he made a lot of money, I think, making weapons. But the main reason why Seiko specifically calls it, because that's not the name of the weapon. It's not a murder sword, but it's just he refers to a lot of what his father made as swords that take life. I think he does it earlier on too. He just makes mention that he doesn't like that his father made the swords that don't give life, like they give death. Like he kind of shares the same philosophy as Kenshin about swords giving life, but um he doesn't like that his father's made weapons that kill people. And like the last thing that his father had, as he also made mention too, was like the last sword that he left to him hadn't been used for any of that. So as far as the sword that's right doing his blade, as I can only imagine it's just some metal they're using to that they've managed to tune in a way that's just flexible. There's a sword that looks like that in Demon Slayer. It's made out of some type of metal, like, but she kind of like the character in there. She kind of carries it around in a scabbard, so it looks normal until she pulls it out, and then when she pulls it out, it turns into like a whip or something like that. As for here, I can only imagine what he's gonna use with it. Thing, Grant. I mean, this guy only has been one note so far. So I can't imagine him making really good use of the weapon, but you never know. But switching gears, because we're now in Dragon Ball territory.
Okay. Which, so they didn't have Krillin in Dragon Ball Evolution.
XOG's asking you a question.
What?
XOG's asking you a question.
XLG is?
Yeah.
Ah, yes. I am far more mature than AZ is. I don't think it applies just in my analysis of anime. I think it applies to all things. Whoosh.
Ow. And everything that was just said. I think he's just more mature because he's older than me. But I view things story wise differently than most people anyway. That's just I value different things than certain things than other people do. That's just how my brain works. I already made mention of it. Like my brain's always thinking about fictitious things all the dang time. It's in the back of my mind, but it's always like it's like a computer that won't be turned off. But so Krillin in Dragon Ball Evolution, I don't think that they. As far as I know, I don't remember Krillin even being involved in Dragon Ball Evolution. How'd you make mention of that? Um, but yeah, I think they used Yamcha. I mean, I kind of thought they didn't try to involve Krillin in that. If I'm being real, it just
Well,
prevent.
you would think that if he was going, they were going to put him in a high school, they'd at least put Krillin um like in his his best high school best friend.
I mean, yeah, you would think a lot of things, but here's my bigger problem with Dragon Ball Evolution in general, and it has really nothing to even do with the story that they told. It's the fact that otherwise it's kind of a good movie, but the problem is they slapped Dragon Ball on top of it. That is my problem.
It's not a good movie.
I think it's all right for what it is. I mean, is it something you want to watch again? Nope. I'm good. I wasted my time. They got my whatever how much time this movie is.
Why don't we do a podcast where we do a live viewing of it?
I am not watching that movie again.
You said it was kind of a good movie.
Yeah, as long as they didn't call it Dragon Ball, it was a movie.
So let's go watch it together. Do
No,
a
I
live
am
action.
no, I am not. No, it already got my 2 hours of my time. No, I'm not giving it anymore. No, it got what it deserved. I'm just saying, like, as far as everything is, if you look at it from a Dragon Ball perspective, it's a horrible movie. It's a flat out failure. I mean, it failed. Like, it failed. I think commercially, it was like one of the most well known failures on like out there. I mean, though there are people, and I will say that Elizabeth is one of them. He doesn't think the movie's bad. He doesn't think the movie is bad or is as bad as I'm making it out to be. He's told me this. You want to take something out on somebody, take it out on Elizabeth. Hello?
Maybe we could bring Eliza Bar in to watch it with us.
I'm not watching the movie again. I've already told people this. I don't know why people are trying to get me to watch this horrible travesty of a movie again.
You said it was a good movie if it just didn't have Dragon Ball on it.
Yeah, but I don't want, that doesn't mean I want to watch it again. There's a lot of movies I think are good that I don't watch again.
You called it a travesty of a movie, but you also called it a good movie.
I don't want to watch it again. That's all I'm really saying. As for movies go, it's okay. I'm not saying it's watchable again. No, Xlogy. No. How about you take Spear and go watch it? I've already freaking told people I don't want to watch that movie again. And yet
Your
people...
viewers, 100% of your viewers demand that we do this.
I am not doing it. I don't care what they want. They don't know what they want. They don't want me in that movie viewing again. I'm gonna be tearing in a new one the entire time. I don't like it. Piccolo is a good example of like what they shouldn't be doing. They need to be putting more of their time in special effects. Piccolo is definitely a really bad part of the movie because he actually doesn't he isn't even green for majority of it, right? Like he's actually purple or something like that.
No. I think he's yellow or something.
Goku being a high schooler, I don't actually typically hate that aspect because it kind of puts a different spin on his character. I mean, was it needed? No, it would have been better if he was still a hillbilly. Well, you know, it is what it is. I didn't like. I mean, I guess like the whole Goku's monkey form kind of being a loyal minion of Piccolo. It was an interesting spin on that whole thing. I would have preferred it still being a Saiyan transformation, but it is what it is there. Which means that I think they were trying to take out Super Saiyan entirely. Is basically what I think what they were trying to do there. They were trying to make their own spin on the Dragon Ball property, but it didn't work out. I think you're right though. He probably didn't watch a lot of it. He probably watched like a couple episodes of it, um, if that, and thought he could make something out of it. Unfortunately, and he was trying to get new people to view it. I don't think this movie was meant for Dragon Ball fans, like the old ones, you know, who were with Dragon Ball since Dragon Ball came into inception. I think this is for new people. I think unfortunately he didn't anticipate the appeal that the name would have, and that with the fans that it would bring in. I think that's what he meant. That's where he went wrong. And unfortunately, because that's what happened, the movie was a financial failure.
It was an everything failure.
I don't think he was intending all Dragon Ball fans to watch that.
It's got a 14% Rotten Tomatoes rating.
Aren't there things rated worse than that though?
Things worse. 14 is the lowest I've seen in a long time.
I feel like I've seen worse, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I always say this because like Bar is so adamant on this. He's trying to get me to watch Red Zone Cuba because apparently that's a movie that's really bad. I don't really know, but again, I am not watching that movie again. The only probably way you would do it, you had to pay me. You had to pay me every year, probably like $1,000 yearly, to get me to watch that movie again. And I don't think XLG could fit that bill. I don't want to test him because he might try to do it. But I'm just saying, like I never watch that movie again. Like that to me, that movie isn't worth. It isn't worth the film it was filmed on. It wasn't worth the actors, who, by the way, have apologized. The actor for Goku actually apologized on Twitter. And I
Dragon Ball Dragon Ball Evolution is my least favorite film of all time. I hated it with every fiber of my being. If you're ever curious about Dragon Ball or the manga, please avoid this cinematic disaster at all costs.
I think also what's really bad about Evolution is that people who don't know anything about Dragon Ball, because at the time when Evolution came out, Dragon Ball was really freaking popular. It was at its peak in popularity at the time, and I'm pretty sure that's why Hollywood latched onto it. No other reason. Um, and again, I still wholeheartedly believe they were intending this movie for new fans, not new ones. I mean, not old ones. They wanted new fans. They wanted to make their own like little canon and hope that it would get popular. Just based on everything, every small decision that they made, like in Evolution, tells me that they were trying to make their own canon. Just in general, they were trying to make their own canon. And honestly, it probably could have worked out if they changed some things back to normal. Keep Goku in school, but like, as some people said, I don't really get the issue with that actor being American or whatever. People were saying like Goku isn't white. It was like, have you not seen his skin tone? like, like in all reality, like it shouldn't matter if the guy, as long as the guy looked white, and they had the wig on him, it's possible. But I just I was like I'm only saying the movie wasn't bad. It's mainly because that's what Lasbar says, and I'm just quoting him. It's basically all I'm really doing there. Yeah, I despise the movie. I never want
Last
to.
Bar says the movie wasn't bad.
Yeah, he said he wasn't bad. He wasn't the worst movie ever. It's what his words were to me after I told him how I didn't want to watch that movie again. It was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. It spat on everything. I even told him the movie spat on everything I liked about Dragon Ball in my face. I tell people this all the dang time. I feel like people laugh at me because I'm viscerally angry at a piece of media. But you don't understand. That was like a lot of what I watched as a kid growing up. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I lived and breathed it when I was growing up. Basically, like it was one of the things I watched and I wanted to watch every freaking day when it was out. It was a part of my childhood. So to see something that I loved growing up get treated so poorly aggravates me to no end, and still does. However long it's been since the movie came out, I can't give it any more of my time because as I was watching it. By the way, I didn't watch it in theaters. I watched it online through a reaction. It's because I was curious. Because like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Maybe I shouldn't be viewing. Maybe I shouldn't be basing my opinions off of other people. I came out of that movie wanting my time back. I didn't even go to the theater to watch it. Like I didn't, and I had a friend who told me because I even asked him about the friend because this friend I talked to. Yeah, I know you're having a lot of fun, XOG, because you like hearing me mad at something. I don't understand why you like that, but whatever. But I had a friend who I think is a bigger Dragon Ball Z fan than I am. He told me he walked into that theater, paid the money, and everything, sat there and watched the movie. I think he said like a third or halfway through, he got up and walked out of the theater. He didn't finish it. He told me that I was very shocked. I was like, "Oh, it's that bad?" He's like, "Yes, it's horrible." I didn't at the time. I was like, I didn't watch it after that point because I was like, I knew because in my opinion, like ever since Evolution and then Avatar, like it's Avatar just proved to me, Last Airbender, I should say, Last Airbender, not Avatar the movie, the franchise, whatever, but Last Airbender has proven to me Hollywood doesn't take these mediums seriously, so they're not gonna put the time or money that it needs to exist. But granted, in recent years, you have things like Alita Battle Angel, who apparently it's a good movie. It's based off an anime, so it's apparently that's good for what I'm hearing. I haven't taken the time to watch it. Maybe I will in the future. I don't know. I feel jaded, very jaded by the concept of an anime to live action movie nowadays because Evolution and Last Airbender Like, honestly, tell me why I should give these studios another shot when they've spat in my face twice. You know, the first time, shame on like the first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me for even believing that you probably could do it again. That's how I freaking feel. So I'm just gonna stick to anime in its purest form and just enjoy
So
what
you
I'm watching.
have feelings about this.
Huh?
So you don't really have any strong feelings about this.
No, 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 no. Burn it all. Exo G wanted this. Like, listen, that's what he wanted. That's why I avoid talking about evolution. It really, it affects me on a very personal level. And people, I mean, like you, every now and then help me validate how I feel. Like, for you, you just don't like it because Piccolo, for the most part, I mean, you say everything is not from Dragon Ball, but Piccolo apparently really offended you. I feel like that makes a lot of sense, but still,
And
it
I thought they did a really bad Bulma, and I wanted to see. I thought they did a really bad Bulma, and I wanted to see Krillin in it.
what about the One Piece TV show? I haven't watched the XLG. I haven't. Again, I told you this when you brought it up to me. I'm not giving them a shot to hurt me again. I'm just not. I hear that it's apparently decent and they got a season 2 coming, but I'm not going to give them another chance to hurt me. I'm just not. That's just how I feel. I am legitimately serious. You might think I was kidding when I had brought that up to you before when you brought the show. Like, no. No. Like, I mean, as Spear said, I don't have strong feelings about this. I have very strong, over-the-top feelings about this subject. I don't believe that they can do it. I really don't. And I get proven every time that I'm right. And it's not even that they can't do it. They won't do it. And this is proven, like, because Dragon Ball was a perfect example of a time where they could really put the money in, the money that they would need. Decided the CGI, even if it isn't a money thing, the CGI work. That movie needed more time in the oven, and they took it out like. The movie probably needed a good like 3 to 5 years probably for it to be good and decent, and they took it out within the half year mark. It just wasn't good. And I mean, hey, if the One Piece TV show is good on Netflix, good on Netflix. But I'm not giving these American companies a chance to hurt me again from like because like they don't value. And a part of where my issue is too sometimes, and it's truly coming from, is like anime is still a niche thing over here in America. It's not popular as it is overseas where it comes from in Japan. It's not something that is. It's. I think it's like a cultural phenomenon over here, but it's not. It's not like in a way that people out here would take it seriously. It's just not. It's seen. It's seen as just a cartoon for kids and whatnot. And in reality, if people sat down and actually watched a series, it's deeper than most American cartoons and even most American TV. A lot of shows are deeper. A lot of shows are more mature. I don't think Japan makes cartoons, quote unquote, for little kids. I think they make them for larger viewing audiences, and little kids, if they want to, can get involved. Don't get me wrong. There are shows out there for kids that they make. I mean, like the Sailor Moon series, that's for little girls. So like that, shonen is like marketed towards little kids, little boys specifically. So the shoujo for girls, it's just one of those things. It's just over here in America, anime is just something random that came over in Japan that is just an export. That's really what it is. Nobody will take it seriously just because it's from Japan. They're not gonna take it seriously. Evolution showed me that, and like when America had a chance to do something good with Avatar: The Last Airbender, they somehow screwed the pooch again. I don't know how they did that. It was American made. I don't know how they messed up. The only reason I could think is they don't care. They just don't care. And if they're not gonna care, why should I? I'm gonna keep watching the stuff from like the original place where it came from and just enjoy my life. Why should I care? You know, because they want to make a quick buck off of my feelings. Okay, yeah. How was your night?
Oh, hey, I just came back. I took a dump. What did I miss?
I think I'm done ranting.
I took a dump. It took me about 15 minutes. Did you miss me?
I didn't know you left. Apparently, you must have had enough of my crap.
No, it was good. It was very relaxing.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, like not like the consistency wasn't creamy. It was like
Hell, no, no,
wasn't
no, no.
bitter.
We're talking about Dragon Ball Daima. No, we're not talking about your bowel.
It was one of those ones that came out like and you'd measure it in feet rather than like inches.
You're done? Had to mute you for YouTube purposes.
I didn't say anything that wasn't okay with YouTube.
You don't know that. Things change all the dang time. But I guess on happier Dragon Ball topics, Daima. Good show. You should watch that. Stay away from Evolution. No one needs to see that. But yes, XOG. That's why you don't ask me about Evolution. You cause Spear to have bowel movements, apparently, as I'm ranting about it. Because I will not shut up. But Dragon Ball Daima is pretty cool. No new revelations that I could think about. Oh no, correction, that was a revelation. We know Supreme Kai's actual name in the Demon Realm. I think it was like Nahare. Nahare, I think is what he was called. I thought that was interesting. I didn't expect him to have another name.
What are the Guardians of the Dragon Balls called?
Uh, that is not the name, but it's Tamagotchi is what's coming up. Tamayaki?
Tamagori or something like that.
He was Thomas something.
The I noticed in the intro they show 3 of them, and they all have different weapons. One has like an edged sword, serrated sword. One has that hammer that we saw, and one's bearing a trident. So I think that's kind of interesting.
I knew they had to be in the thing. I happened to see some other characters in there, but did not see those guys. Okay. Someone's got a serrated sword. I wonder which one's in the well actually no, I think we've seen the one with the serrated sword, I think. I think
the one with the hammer.
We just saw the one with the hammer, but I think the one that we saw with the serrated sword, I think he's the one. I think he's the one that Neva had said good job to in the first episode. Because we saw one of them as they were leaving for Universe 7.
There's also a scene in the opening credits where Vegeta and Goku are sparring as Super Saiyans, and the one with the hammer is like getting involved.
It makes sense. I mean, Goku wanted to get there and fight the one before Vegeta showed up. He didn't say that, but I mean, I knew that's what he was trying to do. Always wants to be the first one to fight something.
Yeah. I just haven't paid enough. Knowing what I know now, I had not paid enough attention to the intro There's a lot of like not spoilers, but like tells for the anime in there.
Yeah, probably I don't pay attention to it because, like, I want to just, I want to see the episodes roll out, and this is like, it feels like good old. It feels like the good days of Dragon Ball again on TV. The intro song also kind of fills me with like, a sense of calm, which is kind of strange for like this show because it's just a fill in for like the between point between Boo and Battle of Gods. You know what happened there.
XLG said he likes it when you Hulk out.
Yeah, I didn't. I just ignored that. I think he just likes to hear me get angry about something for some really weird reason. I think he wants to see me experience the wide stream of emotion that exists out there. Yeah, why I avoid that topic in general. It's not going back in that jar again. Closing it. Anything else?
Jar germ.
Oh no, we put that jar away. But I'm
But I didn't see what was in it.
You don't want to know what's in there. I already went in there once. We're not going back in there again. Not tonight. Huh?
I was just laughing.
I'm pretty sure you were. I'm pretty sure everybody was laughing. Crap. Daima. Is there anything? Oh yeah, Shin removed the ring that was around Pansy's neck. Apparently, it was made of Kenshin Knight or whatever they call that. Apparently, Supreme Kai's sister made that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So we now know who made that metal. I always thought that it was a metal that existed out in the random world, but I guess Supreme Kai, when he first brought it up or whatever, mentioned that that it's not a naturally occurring metal. I don't think he ever explained like why it wasn't naturally occurring until just now. Oh yeah, and Capito is like left behind in Universe 7. He apparently didn't come along. Which kind of makes me a little bit sad, but I guess it is what it is. And also shouldn't be able to fight. So I mean, we got a chance to see some of his fighting ability. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like wasn't expecting it because again, we've never seen him fight before.
We were just talking about that too in like the last episode.
Yeah, I think I brought it up in the episode prior about like how Supreme Kai kind of got upset a little bit when Goku's like, I can fight them. I was like, I can fight too, and I was like, you can? I always thought you couldn't. I guess I should have never assumed that. It's only because Piccolo was supposed to fight him in the tournament, but Piccolo bailed out, so we never got a chance to see him fight.
I get a kick out of it in this series in general, the weird things that Goku eats without flinching.
Yeah, he just doesn't care. I think as long as it's like food.
Little faces on a stick, those brown balls that like each one eating it was two meals, those like dark charcoal colored balls. And he's like he's popping them like they're like potato chips or something like that.
I mean, didn't Goku say he'll eat anything once? I think he said those words. Oh, well, listen, Goku needs to eat a lot. But Goku's extremely carefree too. They even brought up like I guess like even oh yeah, we can talk about Glorio because I think we mentioned before we found out he's apparently working for Supreme Kai's sister. I was like kind of curious about that arrangement, but also I want to bring up too over the course of like them talking about like Shin talking about his older sister. Every time he brings her up, we end up panning back to Gloria, and as he's walking away, it almost seems like he's like this episode he kind of did it again. To me, it almost seems like maybe Gloria doesn't know who he's like. I guess for lack of a better term, in bed with right now. Like maybe he only started working for her because she offered him like a good sum of money or something like that, and he didn't really question her ulterior motives or anything of what she was trying to do. But then as he started slowly hearing about her, and then this last instance where he found out that because the person he didn't know that the little rings around their neck and whatnot were from her. And I think he showed much emotion. It just it seemed like to me that maybe he didn't know like who he was working for or what she was about and whatever. I don't know if like maybe that they're just showing him like it's like I'm not gonna say anything or that he's got a connection with her. But it seems like to me to me I'm taking it as maybe he doesn't know a lot about her and he never bothered to question. Because he doesn't seem the type of guy that would question if he's getting paid. He just does his job without question. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I don't know.
You're reading into it. Why are you reading into it so much?
I'm not trying to. It just happens. And the part of me wants to think Gloria's not a bad dude. He's just because I mean, most of the time mercenaries aren't really bad people. They're just people trying to make a living, and they don't care how they do it. Some don't, for the most part. Others have an actual heart. Maybe Gloria was doing this for a particular reason. And I don't think Arantxa is a person you can just say no to, because she'll do whatever she can to get what she wants to do. I mean, Shin said it. She wanted to stay in the demon realm because she found it more exciting there, which I find interesting. I don't completely understand what I guess what she meant by that. And that just Degussa just
Found
doesn't.
the demon realm more exciting.
Yeah, there's the reason why she stayed, why she didn't leave. That's what Shin said. That was her reasoning. And I forgot what the reason why he said Degussa stayed behind. I know he said that he didn't get along with the other Glints, whatever that means. For whatever that's worth. I don't know. It's just interesting, like some of the reasoning, and she had a reasoning was just she found it more exciting there. And for that reason, she's like, she's taken a mercenary under her charge for some unknown reasons too. Maybe she's after the throne. I had no idea. It just seems kind of weird because that's what like a part of me is like thinking based on all the information that's kind of been said. Because every time they bring up Arantxa or something about her that no one knew, they pan back to Gloria as he's walking away. To me, it just seems kind of weird. That why are they panning back to him? We know that he's working for her. What's the point of us being reminded every time? Like the camera movement just seems kind of like a waste of animation. That could have been animation put someplace else. Oh. So I don't know. Like,
just to make you wonder, like, what's going on.
We could do that without moving the camera towards him, though. Because we already know that he's working for her. That doesn't really do anything for him as a character. Like it doesn't provide anything.
Well, we don't know what that means. Him working for her. Because he seems like a decent guy, and he seems like he's taking care of them and everything else, and he hardly is acting like they're his prisoners or something he's going to dump. So you want him to be redeemable, but you don't know why he's doing this. So you're watching his expressions and his body language and stuff like that every time he has a reaction like that, to see if you can learn something new about what his intentions are.
I'm sorry, I think I was suffering whiplash. I felt like I was saying all that and then you make fun of me for it.
What?
Like I'm suffering whiplash because I feel like I was saying all that, not so many words, but then you make fun of me for it, does a joke or whatever.
I was trolling you.
Yeah, I'm noticing that now. You think I would have gotten used to it by this point, but nope. Now I'm just suffering whiplash from all that. I was like, geez, that was a fast turnaround. Okay, but okay. Oh, actually, did you notice the horns on that merchant dude that was feeding them that those like mouth food pieces, whatever the food that Goku was eating with no care with the mouths on it? You notice he had horns in his head? I guess you didn't, but
Who was that had horns on his head?
the server in the town where the Tama Gachi was. I got to learn those people's names. The town where Goku like they had touched down to go fight to get their Dragon Ball, and they went in town to eat. The guy who's serving them the food.
Oh yeah, like little head spikes.
I was kind of curious, like, is he related to Popo in any way?
He doesn't look like he is.
I mean, Popo could just be a random offshoot. You never know. I mean, I'm probably reaching there, but I don't know. It's really weird because there's no other characters in the show that have horns. So this is the first instance of horns in the demon realm up to this point. Everybody else is very human esque, humanoid. Yeah, humanoid. Except for the things that aren't humanoid, like that Minotaur, which was hilarious. Oh, by the way, I guess we could talk about this one last bit. I wasn't aware of this information until somebody brought it up, and I was watching a reaction because somebody caught on to it. The voice from the hammer Tama dude, the guy with the hammer, the guy who's about to fight next episode. Did you not notice a similarity to another voice actor from that guy's voice?
No. What voice actor are you thinking of?
That apparently, and I didn't even notice until I was listening back on it. That's All Might in Japan.
Really?
That voice actor is All Might. You can actually hear it. It's
Who
really
is it again?
weird, huh?
Who is it?
The voice actor for All Might in Japan. That's
No.
the Tama thing that Goku ran up to. That was All Might.
The the statue.
Wait, what statue? What?
The statue slash robot that's holding the Dragon Ball. That's the one that's All Might.
Yeah, that's the voice actor. Yep.
Let me see. Kind of makes sense. It's the same personality.
I used to not be able to listen to hear similarities of voices in Japan. Now I'm starting to get better at it.
I can hear it a little bit, but I wouldn't have guessed if nobody had told me.
It's just really interesting that they decided to have him, come in as a side character like that.
Yeah. I don't know if he's a side character. I have a feeling that maybe these guys join their teams at some point.
I don't think so, because I mean, how are you gonna get the Dragon Ball out? I don't think they're just gonna be able to. Uh, it doesn't look like a necklace. It looks like it's a part of them.
Maybe.
I mean, anything's possible, but I don't know.
I could totally see them hanging out with these guys afterwards.
I mean, if they're still alive. And
If
once they
they're
get the
still-
Dragon Ball, like, what's the purpose of them at that point?
I don't know. What's the purpose of any of the friends that they make?
Ouch, poor Krillin.
No, you know what I mean? Like, that's a weird thing to say. What's the purpose of Krillin being their friend? Like, I
But
don't know.
no, what no what I want to talk about is like well, how the Dragon Balls usually work is that when they're used, they go up in the air and then they go different directions, right? That's how Dragon Balls always work. I can't imagine these Dragon Balls are gonna work any different. Now, unless no, this is the thing, I don't know how the Dragon Balls here will work. Maybe when they get used, they get. I mean, no one's used the Dragon Balls before, so no one knows what happens when they get used. Um, when they use them here, do they just get shot back into the Guardians? I was under the impression that Goku had to kill them to, well, not kill them, but destroy them to get the Dragon Balls. Like, that was my impression. It was like because these guys were killing people to to protect the Dragon Ball. That seems like a lot of power to protect these things if they're not like because people have died trying to get them. So to me, it's like okay, maybe they have to destroy these monuments to get the Dragon Ball out. But maybe I'm misunderstanding how you get the Dragon Balls. I don't know. It just but so okay to get the Dragon Ball out, if they even yank them out. What if they're being powered by the Dragon Ball? Like at that point, they're just monolithic statues that don't do anything. And the Dragon Balls do the exact same thing that they do at other planets. They just get shot to corners of the demon realm, and that's it. They don't go back to where they were originally at. Again, unless Neva, I'm making assumptions. I get that, but like I don't, like I can't make another assumption unless because I'm using what I know about the Dragon Balls before. I don't know. I don't know how these. I'm not sure how these Dragon Balls are going to function after they're used. Will they disappear? Are they going to just disappear to the corners of the demon realm again, or are they going to go into the back into the Tama dudes?
I was thinking they go back into the Tama dudes.
I guess. I mean, I guess there's a reason why they wouldn't. I don't know. I was
Where
just
else are
on,
they going to go?
I was just under the impression that like they to get them, they have to destroy those dudes.
Well, maybe they just have to defeat the dudes. It sounds like they can give up at any time too, and that the dudes will stop trying to kill them.
I mean, you're not wrong. Whether I was, just, I don't know. I'm making assumptions because I don't know. But I'm only doing it because like I'm like they're not giving me much information to work with. So I don't know. Because I mean, never made these things to protect them, so I always thought maybe it was like one of those you have to destroy them to get them. But again, no one's that is strange that no one's been able to defeat these guys over the entire time that they've existed, and Deborah wasn't strong enough.
Deborah wasn't strong enough, but Deborah was not that strong in the first place.
I don't know, because I mean, Deborah was literally turned into a cookie before he could do anything to Majin Buu, and I don't think that's a fair shot to compare his power to Majin Buu. Because none of the Z fighters actually fought him. He just got turned into a cookie. You don't really know. I'm not saying he was Goku strong, but I'm just saying like fuck, he might have been stronger than we thought. It's just he wasn't able to do anything because Buu turned him into a sweet or some sort to eat him. Weirdly enough, Boo did not inherit any of Deborah's abilities that we could see, right? Like, he just kind of ate him and that was it. Yeah, think about it. Like, Deborah was not inside Boo at all when we went in there to remove Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. We didn't see him at all in there. Yeah, Boo literally ate Deborah and he didn't absorb him. Jeez. What a way to go.
Deborah was a schlump. He was a very cool, potentially a very cool character, but he was wasted.
Listen, we don't really know how powerful he was because, like, we didn't get a chance to see him do anything.
So we did see him like covered in flowers and like ribbons of roses and stuff like that up in heaven when he was like hanging out with Bulma and stuff.
But they couldn't put him in hell because he was elected. Was King Yama's official proclamation?
They put him in heaven and he liked it anyway.
Well, he got converted. Is what actually happened. It's not like what they did to Frieza, which was, I gotta say, messed up. I get why they did it, but still, it was messed up. He was evil, but it didn't need to treat him like that. Okay, I guess with that, we're gonna end the podcast here, and be next week to talk about Rurouni Kenshin again. I think that'll be, oh yeah, that'll be the beginning of December. Wait, I think that's the beginning of December. Let me. Yep, that is the beginning of December. December 2nd. Getting close to the end of the year. Actually, we'll already be there, but one more month and then we'll be in the year 2025. Oof.
It's wild. A little bit longer than that, I'll be 45 years old.
With that, folks, see you guys next week.
That's half of 90.
I'm sorry.
Half of 90 years old.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm gonna be dead before I make 90.